get outdoors and had some oysters.
Oh, that does sound
Fresh
nice.
oysters. Yes.
I love oysters.
Yeah.
Well,
Do you
I
like
like.
seafood?
Yes, I do. I really do like seafood,
Mm.
and I especially enjoy salmon. That's one of my favorites.
Ah, salmon.
Yes.
Salmon. I had it for lunch today. Today.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, and even nicer because I didn't have to pay for that.
Yeah.
It's a farewell for a manager at work.
Mhm.
So we were invited to have lunch. Yeah.
Well, that's terrific. Well,
Yes.
the good news is too today I don't have a full class, so you'll probably get more time to talk as well.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
great.
Now, what kind of topics would you be interested in talking about today?
I think I would be interested in anything like books
Books?
or yeah, politics. Yeah, I'm also into it.
Well, they just called an election in Canada, so that
Uh
politics is
huh.
sort of topical here.
Uh huh. Oh, I don't know anything about Canada except I just recently read an article. They say the Canadian economy shrank. Yeah, it is
Yeah,
the fifth consecutive month the economy shrank, contracted.
that's true, but they usually measure it in quarters, so I don't know why they're starting to measure it in months. But two consecutive quarters of contraction indicate a recession.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not really too worried about that because the contraction is really brought on by one province only because of the oil.
Mm-hmm.
So the rest of the country isn't too worried about that.
Mm-hmm. How many parties do you have there?
Well, I'll get into that shortly. Let me just say hi to Natalia, who just joined us. Hi,
Yep.
Natalia.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
And how was your weekend?
Oh, so everything's okay. So, well, I just had a very calm weekend. Together with my relatives, I visited my relatives who actually don't live very far from my place. So we had a nice time.
Excellent. Well, ladies, we're just kind of discussing what kind of conversation topic we were going to have. One topic that was brought up was elections. Another good topic would be artificial intelligence. A lot of very smart people are saying we should be careful with this, that one day robots could rule the planet and not us.
Mm-hmm.
Other topics. So Min, you suggested elections. What about you, Natalia? What topic?
I don't know. So both of them are okay. So we can. Okay. So if elections are suggested, okay. So we can speak about elections.
Okay. Well, let's do that then. Now, I've got a little annoying thing in the background here. I'll show you what the annoying thing is. Right there. So for a lot of the class, I'll be on mute, so you guys won't hear him. And if you come to my next class, I'll actually be putting him up to bed, so it'll be quiet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off with a 1 minute very brief conversation. I'll give you guys a minute to speak about elections. Anything on the topic of elections or electoral systems or government types is up for discussion. So let's start with Ming Ming. You have 1 minute starting now, so tell me what you think about elections.
Actually, I'm interested. As I said at the beginning, I'm interested in politics, but I don't know much about how it works in different countries. Like I see things happen in different ways in Australia or America, and I have no idea how you vote in Canada. In Canada, sorry, in Canada. Mm. As to the best of my knowledge, I think I know the most about election in America. So they have two main parties. Oh, they have only two parties, or that is the only two, or they have
They have
several.
generally the U.S. is considered a two-party system.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. and each party there will be several candidates. They try to be the party's representatives to run for the president.
Thank you, Mimi. And by the way, I forgot to mention, some of you are familiar with this, but when your time is up, you're going to hear those chimes. So when you guys hear those chimes, wrap up. If you don't, I will step in. That's just a way for me to ensure that everybody has an equal amount of time. What I guess we can refer to as fair representation. All right, thank you very much. That's a good start. Natalia, what do you think? Elections, political systems. What do you think is the best one out there, or do you think is the worst?
So actually, I don't know much about elections or politics in general, but as far as I understand, elections, or the system of elections, was first introduced quite a long time ago. So, well, Rome existed using these tools, ancient Greece. Then, for several centuries, the system of elections was forgotten, and so they came back again, maybe in the 18th century, and so now I can't imagine any country which doesn't have elections. I mean, the political leaders are elected.
Thank you very much. Yes, almost every country has an election, whether it's for one person or multiple. So thank you for that. Hello, Song.
Yeah, hello, teacher. Simon.
Good morning. We're having a discussion about elections, governments, political system, anything to do with politics. What's your thought on this matter, Song?
About the politician, or about the electric, or about what? Can you tell me?
Exactly. Any of those.
All right. I think in Vietnam we have about the traffic. Is about the road or the street is always traffic jam. Yes, and yeah, about electric. Yeah, in Vietnam, the fee of the electric is more higher and higher every day. And but besides that, furthermore that the Vietnamese people or electric company in Vietnam, we sell electric to the some of the other country near Vietnam, like Cambodia. But inside the country, yeah, the government sell the electric for the the people is so higher the price. I
Right,
think that
Song?
is not fair, right?
Thank you. Yes, well, that's something that could be an electoral issue. Very good. Thank you. And a Russian gentleman joined me. I don't speak Russian, so I don't know what your name is.
So hello to everyone, my name is Oleg. Well, for now, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you say your
Hello?
name again, please?
It's Oleg, O-L-E-G. It's pretty
Oleg.
simple.
Excellent, Oleg. Well, we're talking about governments, politics, electoral systems. That's our first topic of conversation. I'm giving each student 1 minute in the first round to speak. And I would like to know what your thoughts are on these. I guess it's a single topic with many different subtopics. Go ahead, you have a minute.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, first of all, hello to everyone. Well, as you all know, this is the difference between political system all over the globe. Well, to my mind, to my opinion of American election system, and I mean the whole Western system, it's more, well, I know, not sophisticated, but more. It's pretty close to be perfect, because there isn't a competition. There isn't a, well, they call it in political science, they call it social lifts or lifts. and you can be just a citizen, but you can present your point of view, and you can you can express your opinion, and you can lead people. Well, for now in modern Russia, unfortunately, it doesn't work at all because, well, in theory we have. Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, Alec, you joined us late. What happens when you hear the tone is your time is up?
Okay, I see.
So once again, guys, we see that 1 minute, it's very difficult to be able to have a conversation. But there are many situations where you are going to actually encounter a short conversation, such as you're in the elevator with your manager or boss, or it's prior to a meeting. You might have a minute or two to discuss. So it's always important to be mindful of the time you do have and try and speak to that. That being said, I also have a 55-minute class, so there's only so much time I can actually give each of you to speak. However, I'm now going to give each of you 2 minutes of talk time. So this is round 2. Again, we've been talking about several things: political systems, elections, election issues. Oleg said that the Western system isn't sophisticated. And I would probably agree with that. It's not a very sophisticated system. However, when you get into corruption, corruption can be quite sophisticated. Every system has a level of corruption. That's all I'm going to say for now. Mingming, you've got 2 minutes. Curious to know what you want to talk about now. Do you want to stay on the same subject, or do you want to try something different?
Yeah. Could you ask other students what would they want? They want to stay in the same subject, or we move to another subject?
We're going to stay in the same subject for a while. It's easier if we kind of focus on one for a bit.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So shall I start?
Yes, we've already started your time.
Okay. Sorry. So regarding to your questions in the chat box, what system? I don't know what is it called in English, but so I come from Vietnam, and we are a communism country. We don't have I think the election in my country happens in a slightly different way. No, I shouldn't say slightly. It's totally different compared to what happened in Europe or in America. But there's one funny thing is people in my country, and I guess probably in other countries as well, as I heard from my friends, we all complain about the local government. I take Vietnamese take us as an example. We always say what we are doing back home isn't fair. We can't vote for the president of the country. We can only vote for our very local mayor in each province, and those people, they will like climb up the ladder, the political ladder, what should I say? So it's not the citizens, the ordinary citizens vote for the president, but another politicians vote for it. And we think that it's not fair, but we didn't notice. We don't notice that that's how it works in communism country.
Thank you. Well, communism is a different form of government. I've never personally experienced it. I've visited countries that used to have a communism, I can't speak now, that had a communistic style government. China, for example, used to be a communist country. I would dare say that it's far more capitalist now than communist. The main difference in China, I would say, is it has the political parties, the setup of a communist style government, but it's far more of a capitalist style system, I would say. I think they're far more capitalist than the US is. All right, that being said, Natalia, what do you think? And do you think there's a best system? Do you think democracy works, or that a republic is better? Socialism, communism? What do you think offers the people the best?
Actually, I don't know which offers people the best, because in any system, in capitalism, communism, socialism, there will be people who will be satisfied, maybe to some extent, and there will be people who will be unhappy. And I'm afraid that there cannot be paradise here. And also, to tell the truth, so speaking about the history of my country, of Russia, well, of the Soviet Union, so I think that the wrong thing was that some of the communists really believed that it was possible to build that paradise on the earth. It was possible to make everybody happy, but it's nonsense. And
Well, it's not about being happy, though. It's about being fair. Is that correct?
yes, yeah. So about being fair, happy. So all these things, yeah. So having opportunities to develop all your skills, your talents, and so on. Yeah. So about having a harmonious, a completely harmonious society. I mean. So as for the situation in Russia today, so well, I suppose that we have the election system borrowed from the West. I mean, the president is elected and the legislature is also elected. So we have parliament, legislative body, which consists of two chambers. So the first chamber actually isn't directly elected, because each district is represented by two people. As for the second chamber, it is elected on the basis of parties.
Thank you. Yeah, it seems like most of the systems today are based on elections by the people, although it doesn't necessarily mean you've got a fair and representative government. The corruption is quite common today as well. In every system. We see it here. There were some cases just recently of some senators that were illegally taking funds, that were misappropriating government funds. Corruption is everywhere. It's sad to say. So let me see. Song, I'm curious, do you think that there's an ideal system? Do you think socialism is the best form? Or what about a monarchy? Or what about dictatorship? You've got 2 minutes. Go ahead and tell us what you think.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Teacher, I'm really sorry. I don't understand what you said about the corruption, or about, yeah. I just want to say about the the train in Vietnam. Is okay?
About what in Vietnam?
Yeah, about the train. The train.
The train.
Yeah.
What do you mean train?
It means that the faster, the short way, or the.
Oh, we're having a conversation about government or politics or elections. So that's the topic we're discussing.
Sorry. Yeah. May you pass another person? I don't have any idea now.
Well, you've got a minute left of your time. So, well, you live in a country. There's a government. There's political parties. You've gone to school. They talk about this kind of thing. So, just your thoughts in any way about governments.
The government, yeah. About the government nowadays, I think that as a citizen in Vietnam, I think that I will try my best to learn how to have a good I have something to cooperate, to invest to our country, to my country, to improve some of the knowledge as well to my friend, some of my students, so they can have the improve our country about the in the future, maybe some of my friends or my students they can succeed on the
Thank you,
top
Sam.
position of the government, so they can improve my country.
All right, Sam. Thank you very much. All right, and last but not least, Oleg. Government and politics. It always seems to come up. So,
Well,
what do you think about everything that's been said so far?
well, well, Natalia, she was talking about a political system, how it created in Russia for now, but to my mind, it's a decoration of this. My point of view, the artificial and possibilities to have governmental services, it would be a decision. When you work, you fight against corruptions. When all governmental services are electronic and all governmental services without any personal involvement, it could, to my mind, it could help to avoid in a corruption level of corruption, make it much lower. And what about of a situation in the whole world for now? Well, I repeat to my opinion of European system and U.S. system and Canadian system. It's pretty close to how it's supposed to be, even though there is so many unwelcome things and any other things, but still there is a possibility for people to vote, to express their opinions, to influence the social life, to influence the life of society. For now, in modern Russia, it's pretty close impossible. Once again, probably you could ask me something. It's pretty hard to me to continue my point of view.
Well, and I don't want to push the conversation into an area where anybody is uncomfortable. That's certainly not my plan.
Okay.
You know, we here in the West quite often hear about how the Western system's the best in the world, and it's not. It's a system. I remember when the Soviet Union existed, I saw communism far differently than I do today. You know, the idea of a system where nobody goes hungry, where everybody has employment and everybody has healthcare, to me is a great idea. And the West has implemented socialistic programs such as those because they were afraid of the Soviet Union back in the early days, and they were afraid that if they didn't adopt these types of programs, their countries would become communist. But, you know, as communism has fallen around the world, now we see a lot of these programs in the West being cut back. It's very interesting. But anyhow, guys, what I thought we might do now is change the topic. When we started the class, I had mentioned what would you guys like to talk about. Government was one of them. And I also mentioned the idea of artificial intelligence. Where beings think. Now, I heard one person laugh there, but keep in mind, and if you search the news, a lot of people are talking about the danger of artificial intelligence. They're warning us that movies like The Terminator could come true. Now, when I say some people, I'm talking about billionaires. We're talking about Elon Musk. We're talking about Bill Gates. We're talking about very, very wealthy and influential people.
Elon Musk is my role model, by the way.
Yeah, he's truly incredible.
He's crazy.
Well, I don't know if he's crazy, but...
but in a good sense. In a good sense. People like him.
Just a minute. I'm going to let you guys talk. Yeah. But here's what I want to do. Because we're getting up to the third round, and I want you guys to talk with each other. So Natalia and Ming, I would like to give you guys 3 minutes of talk time to talk about machine intelligence, or the idea that computers and robots and androids could someday be smarter than humans. And I don't know if you guys know a lot about the technology, but to me this is not a technology issue. It's a humanity issue. It's what is the impact on society, right? On us and our daily lives. So ladies, I'd like to give you 3 minutes starting now. Go ahead, please.
Yep. Hi, Natalie.
Hi. What do you think? Do you think that we are losing the control of the machines we create?
It probably happens someday in future, but I think that day will be very far, a long way to go. So far, I see technology and artificial intelligence is it's not easy, but it brings all positive benefits to our societies, like from computers, smartphones, robots.
So you think that they bring just good things, that we only benefit from these things, but there are no downsides of such development of technology?
I don't know. I haven't seen any drawbacks from that yet. What do you think?
Well, so actually, I have such a contradictory attitude to it, because on the one hand, suddenly, so development of technology is good. So I agree that. So all these gadgets are really very important and they make our lives easier. But on the other hand, well, I don't know what effect this development, this advancement will have in the future. So actually, I don't think that we are going to lose the control of machine. But I'm afraid that maybe some people will have too much power because of those technologies. So do you understand what I mean? So
Yes.
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah. So okay.
I think Simon has a good idea, a good point. We could use robots in the battle instead of humans. So yeah, that's one thing. It's one good thing, and another thing, I also seen a video. I don't remember where I seen it, where I watched it, but in that what could I say? Yeah, just let's say a video. They talk about they use robots as for disability people companions. So like besides dogs, now they also use robots to support disabled people.
I see. Yeah. So, well, certainly this use of robots could be really very good. But if I'm not mistaken, well, okay, sorry.
Save that thought for your next round. So I put up a couple of shows. The TV show Extant, it's a US show, it's all about developing artificial intelligence and creating these military androids that are stronger than us and more powerful than us. And just think of that for a minute. Instead of humans fighting in wars, we have these robots and we don't know what they could do. They wouldn't be afraid. They wouldn't be fearful. They could be made in mass. And if they're attacking, you think of it this way, they're attacking our enemies. But then again, if it's another country, now they're attacking us. And that's kind of scary to have robots. But there's also positives too. Look at Star Trek. Look at Data, the android who's always there to help. What kind of robots will we develop? Well, next we have Oleg and Saiban. Welcome, Saiban. Good to have you back here. You guys have got 3 minutes. This conversation is robots or androids, and should we be afraid of this technology? Should we ban it? Gentlemen, you have 3 minutes, starting now.
Saiban? Well,
Hello?
what do you, yes, hello. What do you think about the development of technologies? It would be so disaster, as Simon said, or it would be helpful for development society of any part of life of societies. What do you think?
Okay, okay, thank you for asking. First of all, everything has its advantage and disadvantages. So, if we just think about the latest invention, the IBM, currently they finally they let's say, or made a robot that can be think. I don't know the name of robot, but this was the break news about this robot. It's really controversial topic in the United States. How this robot can be think, and whatever you ask this robot, and he can answer. I mean, the robot, it can answer you, and it will give you more, I mean, the history of the question. So I don't know if you can understand my topic, the my speech. But
Yes, I
what I
can see. Well, I see your point of view, I see. But as well, me too, I'm more optimist, and I think we have to invest the money in technology and knowledges to for something like medicine or trying to fight against illness of in that sphere we have to that sphere we have to invest our knowledges and the possibilities in energy, not for, as Simon said, replace soldiers with robots. But I'm a pacifist. Is that correct? I don't know if I'm using a correct word, but still, my point of view, if we could invest our time and energy and money in a positive technologies, I mean for making better human lives, it would be very nice. But
yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. Just go ahead. What else do you have? Do you want to share?
that's it. This is my point of
Okay.
view. I'm against
Okay.
robotic war against people and countries against countries.
Okay. So okay. Yeah, but you know, there's no who guarantee the good intention for the powerful country. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right, I want to show you guys some videos. Now I'm going to remove. So don't. My son might make a few noises, but that's not what's important here. It's the video I want you guys to see. So while I'm showing you this video, you might hear some noise. Just block it out. And I want to show you a video of some robots that have been developed in the United States. So how do I share out my screen here? There we go. Here we go. Now, son, you're not sounding very smart. Don't. Actually, no, I'll just mute myself and then I can show. So this is real. This is not computer generated. These are actually these are real robots. They don't have a skin on them yet. Now this robot could be equipped with anything. It could be used to carry payload. It could be equipped with weapons or sensors. And that's icy. Look at that. It stood up. Now, you think that's kind of cute, funny. Now watch this. You get to see how strong it is. And one more.
Require a safety tether to hold itself up. Basically, we have to cut the cord. We have to only tighter than it was before.
Now they have this one running too. I can't find the video where they had this running at full speed.
We try to make a number of innovations to the new robot. The primary one is the new battery pack. So in the back of the robot here, you'll see a large box which represents all the energy that the team.
Maybe this one. Oh, here we go. This is an earlier version. Now just imagine if they start to put artificial intelligence in these things. And I'm going to put my headset in. We'll get started shortly here. Now watch this thing. Now, one of the larger ones could have this equipped to it. You could have a whole army of little robots.
Horrible. Horrible.
Okay, so now I'm going to give you guys another 3 minutes each. Personally, this scares the bejeebas out of me. They have the technology for them to run, to fly, to climb. The technology's there. These things can run on 4 legs, 2 legs, on wheels. It doesn't matter. The only thing missing is the brain. So with that being said, I'm going to have Ming Ming and Oleg have a discussion. What do you guys think when you see these pictures? What do you think about the future?
Horrible. I'm scared.
Then I tell you that you don't have to be that scared because
Thank you.
no, I have read some articles written by neuroscientists, and they say that our brains, we have a very strong, powerful ability, such as and which there are some things that we just take for granted, like the ability to see and listen and run and do anything else. And actually, that's very difficult to create in a robot or artificial intelligence. They say actually the mathematics abilities or chess is easier to learn and practice. So that's what I thought. I think robots versus humans, I don't think they're gonna win. But what
I
I'm
totally
worried.
agree with you.
Have a conversation.
No, you don't. Yeah. Okay,
Yeah. No, I'm just listening. Yes, it's a very interesting point of view. That's why I'm
So
not
yeah, what do you
telling
think?
it. Well, I totally agree with you, by the way, because for human brains, it's very mystery and pretty hard to recreate it and recopy it. And I think, well, human being, they will win a war if it would be, but I don't know. I believe in a human's future.
Yeah, but you know what? I have second thoughts. Like, of course, if we take robots versus humans, then we win. But I mean, if we put in individually a robot versus, for example, me, then I think a
Well,
robot's
of
physical
course,
ability.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a stronger physical abilities against any individual person. So what am I concerned about is then the robot scientists will be very powerful in future if this gonna be the trend, you know. So.
And by the way, well, thank you. Well, by the way, I agree with Natalia. Of probably some people, well, they could use access to that kind of technologies to have a more power and to be more powerful, to try to establish their point of view or anything. But still, well, I agree with you as well. When it's gonna be in a war, or it will be in a war, if humans they will win. Well, you can compare, for example, the newest the newest versions of.
Thank you.
Sorry.
All right. So I want you guys to do a bit of a history walk with me. Go back 100 years. Try to explain to those people how we'll have TVs less than a centimeter thick. We'll be able to fly to the planets. We'll be able to orbit the Earth with multiple satellites where we can see our position. We can have computers in the size of our hand that makes phone calls and texting and the internet, cars, planes, jets, androids, annoying babies, and just,
well, they had annoying babies.
I know, but the guy who got us to the moon, Wernher von Braun, shut it. He, at the time, people thought it was impossible to go to the moon. It was fantasy. Here we have the robots. The difference is we just don't have the artificial intelligence. But I don't think we're that far away. I could show you the videos, but they've already got programs thinking for themselves and solving solutions by themselves. I'll shut up so my son won't disturb you guys. Next we have Natalia and Saiban. Guys, what do you think?
Okay, so Simon, what do you think? So actually, I have no ideas because so I can't imagine how artificial intelligence can work. But I suppose that if it really happens, so then I suppose that. Well, there might be quite serious subsequences. What do you think?
Oh, okay. It's so hard to imagine that the robot will control the human being. I don't think we are there yet. We still need more intellectual, say, more genuine thought to inventing the robot that can be, thinkable. But of course, as I just mentioned, the last round, the robot has also the advantage and disadvantage. So they might, they might be against us, but it's up to the country and the site who invented the purpose that it's made it. The purpose of behind behind this robot. So this is my point of view. I don't know if you are agree or disagree with me.
Well, so I certainly agree with you that so having robots may have both the positive and negative effects. Yeah, but I mean that I just I'm so kind of afraid that if robots really can, let us say, think like we do, so what will happen then? So will they take control of us? Will they win us? So in the previous conversation, well, they came to the conclusion that humans will win. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't want to go that far to think about let's say, in my point of view, it's impossible to think there will be a war between human and robot. It's so hard. because robot will not be that smart to I mean to just have a war or to fight against us. So I think it's just currently it's totally controlled by human being.
Yeah. Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, guys. Now, keep in mind, our brains are essentially computers. There's not much difference between how our brain works and a computer works, except for computers are a little bit more primitive. Now, computers are much faster than our brain, and computers have the ability to now store more information than our brain. But where our brains are smarter or better is that we can process multiple things at the same time. A computer might be able to handle 2 or 4 different things at once. If it has 4 cores, it can handle 4 things at once. If it has 8 cores, it can handle 8 things at once. But our brain can handle many different things at once. Well, computers don't have emotional intelligence yet. Keep in mind, the more we develop, the way we change the structure of these devices, let's say we get away from solid circuit boards. What if we replicate the biology of the brain and we use biological tissue? We create our own brains that are artificial intelligence. Look at all the work we're doing in biology, in the study of genealogy. Not genealogy, what do you call that? I forgot the term for it, but they're looking at our DNA. They're looking at making changes. Genetics, that's it. They're looking at that. So what if that comes together with artificial intelligence? All right, I want to give you guys, again, 3 minutes of talk time. I'm going to change who you're talking with this time. Ming Ming, you get to speak with Natalia. So, and I'm not trying to scare anybody. It's just the realization that technology moves very, very fast, and we need to think about it. Because if we don't, we might have an invention that we're not prepared to deal with, such as those scary jumping robots. Go ahead, guys. You've got 3 minutes.
Hi, Natalie.
Hey.
Hi again.
Yes.
So as I type in the chat box, I say we have compliance ethics and compliance department to control such threatened invention anyway. So yeah, we will develop, but probably like a long time ago they can. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but they can create the shape, isn't it? Like kind of artificial shape. But then because of the ethic issues, then it wasn't allowed to process. What do you think?
Yeah. So, well, actually, I suppose that what you have said and what Simon has said may be quite dangerous in the future. So I mean that I think that in the future we may face the problem of distinguishing between a human and a robot. So we'll have a question: whom we consider a human and whom we consider a robot? If let us say biological tissues are used for robots, and if they look like we. I mean that if these creatures are created artificially, but nevertheless they are not humans, or maybe they are connected with some mechanisms, so some androids, so the mixture of the combination of biology and engineering, and so whom shall we consider a human, whom shall we consider a robot?
And I think I am afraid to say that I don't agree with the ideas that our brains are similar to computers because emotional intelligence is a huge field. Like it's all about the feelings. You know, even humans, not everyone have a high
That's
level of.
software.
Sorry.
You're thinking of software versus hardware. Software, our emotional intelligence is all about how we think.
Yeah.
How we
The
feel.
brain itself, the architecture of the brain is what allows us to be able to think that way.
Yeah, but I mean, it's very difficult to copy and it should be transferred into a robot, because even humans ourselves, some people have a very low level of emotional intelligence and have to be educated and practice like any other skills to get improved. Sorry,
Well, and
Natalie.
that's a good point. Part of the argument I made earlier is we develop these machines, and what if they don't think the way we do? What if they, or worse, they think like we do and they're vicious and they're violent? I don't think that having a high EQ is the criteria used to build these robots or AI, but that's just me. Saiban, you're up next with Oleg. And let me reset the timer. You guys have 3 minutes. Go ahead, please.
Such a perfect conversation for the first lesson at this service. Well, I think it's very controversial, and as long as I've been saying that I'm an optimist and I believe in a good future for humans and robots, and they could be implemented very organically in our life. I totally agree with Simon that technologies go very, very fastly, but still, if we won't develop the technologies, it won't be a progress. It's a risk all the time, and our job and our understanding to minimize the kind of risks. Well, even though it would be dangerous. I don't know if I was correct. Understandable.
No, it's understandable. I agree with you. But I just one thing that I want just to refer to, or to just enlighten I think what I'm really scary of. I mean, what I'm really scary about it's using this robot against the other human being, against each other. So. I understand. I mean, it's not just. I think the human being. It's more worse than the robot when they want to hurt each other.
Yes, when they try to. Yes, when they try to make a war against each other. Yeah.
Look at the drone. The drone is robot, and it's led by the human being. And it kills just 3 days ago. The Turkey used drone against us in Kurdistan region. They have killed 8 innocent people using technology against us. And what do you think about it? It's too harmful. It's not about the robot. The issue it's who lead this robot. I think. I totally believe that robot will not be rise against us. I totally.
But maybe androids will.
Cyborgs, Terminators.
Well, I'm going to cut into your time a little bit with 15 seconds left, but terminology is important here. A cyborg is where you have a human and you take technology and you implant that technology into the human. A robot is simply a device. It might not even look like a human. It's a device controlled by a computer that has chips, and it might be controlled by a central server. An android is a artificial device that looks like a human, thinks like a human, and functions like a human. Data in Star Trek is a good example. So we have many different terminology here to use. But this
Very
is a good conversation.
understandable. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's important to understand that artificial intelligence is the software programming that allows an artificial device to think like a human. Now, it may not think quite like us. Maybe it'll think better. Keep in mind, things like our eyes, they're not the best designed. You can design better technology. The study in genetics, the study in material sciences, the study in semiconductors, and the study in software and artificial intelligence, as it all comes together, there might be a perfect storm someday where it all fits together and like, boom, hey, it works. They're now talking about EM drives in space. I mean, we're advancing at a very fast pace. Now, we're coming to the end of the class, and the only reason I'm stopping at 55 is because I have a class right after this. So I need to get ready, get my material set up, get some water for my throat. But if you guys have time, I have another class in 5 minutes, and it's called Describe What You See. In this class, I'll be showing you an image, and again, you'll get a minute of talk time to describe it in as much detail as you can. And if it's just the 4 of you, and who knows, it could be 4. Right now I've got how many seats reserved? So there's plenty for you guys. I think there's 4 seats reserved.
Oh, then what a pity. It's very late for me, so I can't join you.
I'm sorry to hear that. But unfortunately, I do have to go now, guys, because I got to get ready for that class.
Well, thank you. Thank you to everyone. And thank you, Simon. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
In the next class.